Hey, channel. I know it's been a while. No. Before all 12 of you freak the fuck out, let me explain what's been going on. I have, been busy, I guess. After, I think last I uploaded was the Destiny video. I don't know, it's been so long. And, I guess this is going to be, integrated into a D&D session, which is, probably, down below what it's labeled, so... Yeah, I got into this recently, and that's a part of the reason why I've been really and that's part of the reason why I've been really busy. I read all the D&D books. I have memorized them. Really, I'm still really sloppy. But I decided to start a campaign with a couple of friends, and I thought that hey, it'd be fun. It'd be fun if I uploaded it, just for you to see. And some of you I know are part of this campaign, and keep in mind that if it's not a session that you were a part of, I would discourage you from watching it. And for the rest of you, this campaign is this episode that you're about to watch is quite sloppy, quite stumbly. My audio isn't mixed right. I was hesitant on uploading it just because this channel has been a journey for me, and from the first video to the last video that I made, which again is the Destiny video, and I think the first one I made was an Overwatch one. I've been getting better and better and better, and now I'm taking on something completely new. I mean, that's just the kind of person I am, I guess. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to record this properly, but I think that this will be a good landmark. The reason why I haven't taken down any of my shittier videos, particularly my my clickbait one called I'm a Torbjorn and I'm okay, even though that's a point of deep shame for me, is just because I like looking at it. I like looking at what I've done, where I came from, and I think that this is going to be something that's like that as well. Looking at my first video and my last one, I think, dang, I got better, and I think DMing for this campaign is going to be something similar, and even the recording process. So I can't imagine that this one will be doing too well, because it's not that great. I'm going to be frank with you, the viewer. It's not that great, but I think that it's going to serve as a good benchmark for where I started as a DM and as a recorder of sessions. I'll probably make more update videos about the campaign as it goes, because one of the members of the campaign is a very, very talented artist, and we'll be making some art for this. I've got a other musician other than myself working on some soundtracks stuff. That's going to take a while, so I will be uploading a D&D video at least every 3 weeks, mainly because it takes a long time. It takes a long time to plan, because I like having everything fleshed out. That's just my style. So yeah, you have that to look forward to. I hope that you enjoy this session for what it is, and I hope that if you or me are watching this from the future to look back from where I started, that it's something special. So, without further ado, enjoy. Oh, there. The sound of droplets of water gently hitting the surrounding trees and spiraling to the ground fill your ears. The arcane sigil on your right arm glows with energy, and the feeling of warmth coursing through your veins slowly begins to weaken as your traveling companions go further away. You look all around for possible herbs to bring back, or a creature for the slaughter. The light around you is dim, but present. As it shines through the cracks in the thick canopy above, you carry a spear, ready to strike, as you hear rustling in the area ahead of you. The brush around you is thick, and you shiver as rain droplets fall on you and are caressed by a soft, cold breeze. Your head races with the possibility of what lie ahead as you push aside the brush You move forward. Roll perception. All right. That is an 18. You push aside the brush. There's a clearing ahead of you. Below is muddy dirt, soaked thick with the rain that seems constant. You look around, see the birds above. These creatures, known as chimera, swinging from tree to tree harmlessly. And you see a pair of two glowing eyes in the circle, in the empty, hollow circle of a big tree, staring back at you. What do you do?
I continue walking, pretending that I didn't notice. But
Okay. You walk forward, spear still at the ready, not giving off the impression that you've seen these two pairs of eyes. As you grow closer, the eyes follow you with a familiar intent, an intent of a hunter. Then behind it you see two more. But wait, that's not two more. You look and you notice that there's a set of just a bunch of glowing eyes staring back at you, and then another set behind it, and then another set, and one more. You hear familiar skittering about on the inside. And this is another big reason why I want to do this one-on-one, because I'm going to be talking, and there's going to be points where, like, it's not as if you need to wait for me to finish. Like, this is all happening in real time.
yeah.
So when you get a detail of something that would make you want to take an action, go for it.
Okay.
So, like, I could be like an example being like he reaches for us to his side, and then that could be the reaction. Like, okay, it's like I cast blah blah blah, like to like make him immobile, instead of like he reaches to his side and pulls out a gun and fires, kind of thing. Like, this is all happening in real time.
Okay.
So, as these eyes stare back at you, they pull back, and you see, and you start to get a better look as the light from the canopy above shines in to see these furry bodies. 6 legs as they leap out at you. Go ahead and roll me acrobatics.
I was about to say something.
Exactly. Like, see, like right then, like that's when it's like I back away, or like I put my spear up, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Then again, like that's why I think that this is good. That's why I think that's good that we're doing this.
Okay,
Go ahead and roll me acrobatics. Oh, okay. So it dives at you. You just like do a quick strafe to the left. It lands, and its friends all come out, like baring its fangs at you. Like getting up on their hind legs and like giving off this.
What are they?
They're like this 6-legged furry creatures. Like they're just gigantic spiders. You like these things that they're all around the jungle. You are no stranger to these creatures. Like they're no problem on their own, But in a group like this, they could cause some serious damage.
3 Zerglings. Wonderful.
Go ahead and roll initiative.
Roll initiative, right?
Yeah.
Oh, where did it go? Up there.
Oh, dang. Come on. Work. Let's see here.
You wanted to see the result of this roll. It can turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
All right. Initiative. Okay, 14. Excellent. As this is a 1v4 duel, it really only affects the first turn before it just kind of starts rotating. So, first, a spider is going to lunge at you, and it's going to roll 19. What's your armor class?
Armor class? Shit. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I have any.
You do have an armor class. It should be on the top of your character sheet.
Armor class 13.
Okay, so that hits. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for damage. All right. So as it lunges at you, you took the step back, putting your spear at the ready, but not before this one thing just claws at you and gets up all up in your business and sinks its teeth into your arm. Not by much, but just enough to be a little nip. Take a step back, and it's your turn.
Okay. Okay, I start using. Alright, I start circling them, trying to make sure that they can't get around me. So I start moving to my right, forcing them to line up so they can only come at me one at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Is that all you'll do?
No. I'm not just standing there. I crouch down into a fighting position. No, I don't actually. I keep my spear raised and pointed at them, tracking their movement.
Yeah. You're not surrounded yet, so they don't get an attack of opportunity. You're just, you're making sure that they don't surround you.
Yeah.
All right. And no attack. Just positioning yourself. You get one.
Yeah.
You get one action and one bonus action as a monk.
Okay, as a monk, right? I lunge.
Okay. You're lunge with the spear.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll a d6 for damage, or you can click it on your character sheet to apply all the appropriate modifiers. First, roll a d20 to hit.
Okay. Well, fuck.
Okay. So, as you circle around. You fought this before. Not to get surrounded. This in a cluster, you think to yourself, you're so focused on everything ahead of you that your mind is slightly, foggy, and you don't notice the root at your feet as your heel catches on it and you fall backwards. You are now knocked prone.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, can I use my bonus action to get back up?
No, not since you missed so horribly. I'm gonna say no. You don't really use you use half your movement to get up. It's not exactly an action. So you're knocked down. After you, I guess we should pretty much from whenever you specify a movement, say do it by multiples of 5 feet, just so we can get a sense, just so I know how much movement you have left.
Okay.
Since you're knocked back down, I'm gonna say, since I didn't communicate that with you, you can use the remainder of your movement to get back up. And then since and you have a bonus action to attack with, but considering how you fell down, I'm gonna say you're slightly out of range just because you got back up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. And
I
you know, like
stepped up.
this is the downside of not using maps because it's like not as specific. But I want to get around using maps so that we can all like imagine like what it is in your head. But I should have been more specific about the distance. Again, this is good. This is what we're doing. This is why we're working this out. Okay. Spider behind that is going to go ahead and move forward and try to take a jab at you.
Okay.
Rolls a 5. It jabs. It lunges at you like with this big screeching sound as you just move aside. Like looking down at it, but not before you look back up to notice another spider lunging at you. And like it like lunges on over the top of it, and again you just move to the side, briskly, like keeping on your feet, like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, just like moving briskly, remembering your training. You've done this so many times before, it's like second nature. And you've got one more to go. Okay. And then the last one, so determined to jab at you and to sink its teeth deep in your throat, it jumps at you full force. Not before you just whack it with the side end of your spear and push it to the side. And you've got one more to go. What's your armor class again?
13.
Okay, so this one hits. All right. So as you just moving left and right, trying to keep on your feet, trying to keep your footing solid in the ground on the muddy floor beneath you. The last one that attacked you at the very beginning now lunges back up at you and sinks its teeth deep into your chest before you knock it back and take a step with these like fang marks now embedded in your cloth torso. All right, you're up.
Right.
You take 3 points of piercing damage.
Pierce damage. Okay. So I would be at.
You took 1 damage before, so it's 4 total.
Okay. Alrighty then. Alright. I attack again.
Okay, roll the hit.
Right. I roll a d20, right?
Yeah, d20 to hit. Okay,
That's better.
Roll for damage.
And damage.
You're using a spear, so it should have the stats.
Spear, DS, plus 3, plus piercing.
I think you can just click it and it'll roll. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, there it is. Okay, so as it sinks its teeth into you, you look behind you and there's one, like they're starting to skitter all around you. That thing where you were backing away to keep yourself from being surrounded, like is now like slowly starting to fall apart. As you reach to your side, as these fang marks slowly starting to like sting, you reach out and you jab your spear into the one that bit you, and your spear goes directly through its skull, and you just quick, like frickin' 300 Leonidas style with the wolf, just shink straight through the skull and yank it back out as it falls down lifeless. All right, now it's the spider's turn. God, what is it with them in the 4s lately? Okay, well I guess, and one more. Okay, so that watching
I clearly killed the most competent one.
Yeah, watching their friend fall, all of them tried getting up on their hind legs, trying to knock you down, trying to skitter around, but you just keep on moving left, right. They can't quite keep up. They're skittering about, and now they just can't keep up. All right, and as they are looking for another opening to strike, it's you're up.
You're up?
Yep.
Alrighty then. Let's see. I use. Okay, what are my modifiers? Okay. I attack again.
Okay. There's one to the ahead of you, one to the left, one to the right. Which one do you attack?
I attack the one to the. Okay, assuming I'm holding my spear with two hands.
Yes.
Right hand on the top. I attacked the one to the left, so my face and front is not exposed to the other two spiders.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for damage. Roll the hit, rather.
Ill.
All right. So you take your spear and then you jab to the left, and it lunges back and gets ready for another strike. You have a bonus action to use an unarmed strike should you wish. You also have 2 key points to spend. Just
Okay.
That's a new feature.
Right. I use one of my key points. Wait. Can I use an unarmed strike if I'm wielding a weapon, or do I just like?
You can. You.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a one-handed thing. So you may use your unarmed strike when you're using a weapon, so long as it's not heavy enough to the point where you need to carry 2 weapons, which it's not. It's a spear. You can just go yank and then follow it up with a right hand palm blast.
Or just
Okay.
with the spear shaft.
All right. So you're going to use flurry of blows, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the hit for the first one.
I roll D6.
No, roll D20 to hit. Roll the hit first.
D20.
Roll the hit. Okay. You same spider?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Unless you needed to move. Yeah, I guess. Never mind. I don't think you can change targets anyway. Okay, you swing and it lunges back yet again. Go ahead and roll the hit one more time.
Another D20.
Another D20 to hit.
Okay.
Okay, and the second one, as you it lunges back, you toss your spear to your other hand. It looks, and still looking at your pulled back hand as you follow it up with a left hand jab directly to the face. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Another D20.
For unarmed strike,
This is armed movement. Key. Well, it just says save. How does key damage work?
Okay, so one normal okay, so you are it's a +4 to hit, and you deal 1d4 +2. You can use Dex instead of Strength, and it adds your Dex or Strength modifiers depending on what you want to do. I with your build right now, you're using Dex, so so it's 1d4 plus your Dex modifier. So go ahead and roll a d4, and then add your Dex to it. Okay, 3 hand?
3 and 10, so that'd be 6.
Okay. Punch it straight in the face. You watch as its torso separates from the punch as you just hit it up, and it just flies off the top. The other 2 spiders are starting, skitter back a little bit as they both are real angry. One of them's mouths start to foam, and its tail starts to shake a little bit. 14. I'm sorry, I keep asking. I should really write it down.
It's 13.
13.
Armors.
All right. So it spits this green liquid at you, and again, you just move your head back, looking at it. It's oh, okay. And the other one, like sees you moving back from it, and as you look to the right, this one's already on you and is going to just take this, just lunge for your shoulder, dealing 2 points of piercing damage. Go ahead and take that. Max HP. Alright, and with that, you're up.
Hey, back to where he was last time. Alright. Okay, so the one that lunged at me.
So you have one on your right and one like directly to the center of you, because you took out the one on the left.
Okay, so the one to the center. Which one attacked me? The one on the center.
The one on the right took a jab of your like right around here, and then just backed off.
All right. I attacked the one that took the jab at me.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and roll for damage. And that you rolled that with your spear? Like, don't you get a modifier with that?
Oh shoot! Nope, I rolled the wrong one. Okay, let's try.
Okay,
that
but
again.
it's you still rolled okay.
That'd
I'm
be
gonna say
4.
you still rolled a 1, but the spear gives it +3, which is enough. So
okay,
you roll back and then you impale it, lifting it above your head. The spear goes directly through it, and you throw it over your shoulder. And this last one pounces back, like at least like around 20 feet from you, and reels up and starts, like the same foam starts to, come like vomiting out from its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it spits at your face. And, as this thick, like, green goo is, like, like pouring, like, all over your face, you close your eyes, you try to get it out. You try to, like, stop it from hitting your face, but you can't quite manage. And you are now considered blinded, and you are at a disadvantage for an attack. And you take 2 points of poison damage. Actually, roll me a con. Roll me a con save. Okay, so it blinds you, but you're managed to make the best of it. It hits you, and you're like, oh, but you close your eyes, you close your mouth. It doesn't quite do like the full effect. So you're just trying to wipe it off your face. Yeah, you are considered, yeah, I told you the effect. You're blinded, you're at a disadvantage for attack.
Okay. In what ways does the disadvantage modifier affect the roll?
You roll it twice, you take the lower one. To hit.
Mm-hmm.
I should say, not damage.
Okay.
So it's you roll the d20 to hit twice, you take the lower one.
Oh, I just realized I have darts. Okay. How far away is the spider?
The spider backed away like around 20 feet from you before spinning at your face.
Okay.
So like it was like a quick, like like when we see those wolf spiders that just jump. It was like that, except for he just jumped backwards.
And what is AC?
Armor class.
Okay. Oh, that's disgusting. I don't want to see that. Okay. Well, in between, with like unarmored movement, which is wait a second. Well, I'm reading something. Unarmored movement. At first level, if you wear no armor nor shield, which I don't have either of those.
Yes.
My armor class is 10 plus dexterity modifier, which is 3. plus my wisdom modifier, which
is
is
1.
2. So
Oh, so your armor class
what-
was 15,
15.
and it says it's 14.
It says it's 13.
Okay, so it's not
Wow.
taking into account that special effect. So go ahead and put that in manually.
Yep.
And again, this is why we're doing this. We're working out
Yeah,
the kinks.
for future reference.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and put 15 for your AC.
Done.
Okay. It's still your turn. For the sake
still
of
my turn.
yeah, for the sake of fluid gameplay, we're just gonna say everything that happened.
Yep, that's fine. I. Okay, I use my movement to charge the spider.
Okay. You run forward, and the spider is now right in front of you. The goo in your eyes is still making your vision really fuzzy. You're trying your hard, to not let it get into any of your mouth or your nose or your eyes or anything. But so it's really hard to see. But you see this looming black, spiky figure in front of you.
Yep. Wait.
You're in front of it.
Yep, I'm in front of it. I attack.
Okay. Roll with disadvantage.
So I roll twice, 2d20s.
Yeah, you can also click on rolling with your roll to hit with this. Put your rolling on disadvantage, or you could just roll 2d20s, and we could. Actually, I think that there might even be a thing for it. Roll. Yeah. You just roll 2d20. Yeah. Okay. 10.
Roll again.
Yeah, roll again. And 19.
Yes.
So as you can't quite see it, and you swing your spear in front of you with a wide angle, trying to get this thing. It just bounces back, and then you start hearing this low sound, kind of from the inside, as if something is falling from the hollow tree in front of it, and then you hear a bunch of as this gigantic spider comes crawling out, fitting through this hollow hole that you saw these 3 coming out of, just towering over you, at least around 10 feet wide, towering with its long skinny legs around 15 feet above you. So you're on 5 feet tall, so almost around towering I got 20 feet, just staring down at you, and it's pissed. All right, and the spider that you just attacked is gonna roll to hit.
So I missed the spider.
Yeah, you missed the spider.
Okay.
So you swing, it runs back, and then tries to jab at you, and then you move back. You kind of wipe the slime from your face and just flick it off, and then you notice this, and then look to where you heard all of these noises, and you see this gigantic spider now coming out of this freaking hollow tree, just staring at you, making all of these noises,
Nasty.
getting
Okay.
getting ready to pounce on you, and it's gonna a bit of all right, it's gonna roll a hit. +3. Okay, and this is good, because it has a +3 bonus to hit, so it matches. You said your armor class is 15, right?
Yes.
So for this campaign, for the sake of continuity, you can either do it one of 2 ways. Either if the AC matches, it goes to the attacking party or the defending party. I'm going to say that for the rest of this campaign, it will benefit the defending party, as the attacking party is the one that is making the movement. So it will miss you, but that also means that if you try to attack it and the AC matches, you will miss it, kind of thing. So
Yep.
so. This big towering creature comes to try to grab your head with its mouth as you move back, just looking up at this thing. It's not friendly. All right, you're up.
No. It's not a friendly, guys. Alrighty then. Okay.
Nope. That's it. Nope.
Okay. I roll under the spider and lunge upward underneath its, in between its, I guess. Yeah, its fleshy underside.
Okay.
So would I roll for acrobatics or dexterity?
No. I'm gonna say that, like, with how close you are, you know, you look to your right, you know, you see the big spider towering over you. You look to the little one, you think to yourself, like, okay, one thing at a time. You dive under. You know, like, remembering your again, like, all of this thing, you know, coming to your heads, like, any of these moments, I could lose my life. I need to be precise. You dive under this thing, and then you lunge upward. Go ahead and roll to hit.
If this thing is as big as it says it is, I don't think it'd be that hard to miss. But I may be wrong.
So you lunge upward, aiming for its heart. You're sure that this blow is gonna impale like you did one of the others. It notices you diving under and tumbles to the right and spits at your face yet again.
Okay.
And, you know, like, one movement after the other, just the flow of battle, you know, your adrenaline pumping, you just move your head to the side as it spits by, landing on the bigger spider's leg. You are now, with the smaller spider in front of you, the bigger spider is now almost behind you, just like, he's like to the left of you, so like, I would say like 7 o'clock-ish, like not exactly behind you, but damn close. So it's going to lunge at you. All right, and that's a hit.
Wait, it attacks me.
Yeah, it's lunging at you.
Okay. Even though my armor class is...
It hits.
15?
It hit you. Because it has again, like, I'm not rolling an exact matchup because like I have its stats in front of me, and it has a +3 to hit, so it rolled 15
right.
+3, 18.
Okay.
It hits you.
Yep.
And it rolls for max damage. It, like, you know, like, takes its gigantic, you know, like, spiky claw and just whaps you with it, and like a slap across the torso, flying to the right, and your back slams against a tree, going at least like 10 feet before you're slammed to the tree and then slope to the ground, getting back up, taking 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Damn. Okay.
All right. And it's at this point that you notice that your sigil is that the sigil on your arm is starting to get hotter and hotter and warmer. And you know, like, that feeling where, like, have you ever, like, taken like a shot of brandy?
No, I haven't actually. Not brandy.
Okay, so like, imagine like the feeling that you get, you know, like the warmth in your stomach that you take when you take like hard alcohol. So it's like
I'm
that.
thinking of sake right now.
Yeah, so you feel that warmth, except for it's coursing throughout your whole body, and you feel your traveling companions coming and hearing the scuffle. But it's around, like, you sense that they're damn close to being there. And, all right, what do you do?
Okay. I look for my. I look at my environment, seeing if there's anything, like any terrain that I could use to my advantage, because we are in a forest. Yes.
Yeah. So you see, you know, like, gigantic trees all around you. You know, like big leaves towering over again. The canopy is super thick. This muddy clearing with the hollowed out tree is like just barely to the left of you now. You were like slammed to the right. So like. Actually, barely to the right, rather. And, you know, the two spiders are to the right of you. The clearing kind of branches off, you know, into like a circular motion to the left. There's, you know, like roots sticking out of the ground. Like, there's really thick brush all surrounding this clearing, and like flowing water all going through it from the rain falling from above. And I guess the only other thing I could say is like all the trees around you have like lots of like large branches I guess you could grab onto, and you're pretty experienced with like fighting like that as well. That answer your question?
Yeah. I climb into the tree that has the most amount of branches.
Okay.
Not to infringe the spider's vision, but rather if the spider tries to pursue me, it has to get through that crap first.
Okay. For the sake of movement, I'm going to say that you just turn around to the tree that knocked you into, and you turn around to climb it. Go ahead and roll me acrobatics. 17. Yeah, that'll do it. You rolled disadvantage on that, just FYI.
Oh. Okay.
So, you rolled it twice. So, but 17, which was the first roll, like, I would have taken the first roll over anything. The second one, you rolled a 25, so either way, you would have made it. So, you're just, like, grabbing up from one time to the other. I'm going to say, since you're climbing vertically, you climb half your movement speed. So, what's your movement speed currently?
30.
30? Even? Okay,
yeah.
So you climb up, you're splaying yourself forward, feeling all of the wounds that you've gotten. You are now like 15 up in the air on this tree. Your movement is spent. Would you what else would you like to do? You still have an action and a bonus action.
Yeah. Can I roll for medical?
You don't have any healing items, unfortunately.
So I cannot use medicine. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you could try to do something. Like, what do you want to do?
Well, like I was looking at like skills, and one of them is medicine.
Yeah.
So I was gonna roll for that.
Okay. What is the skills? Oh, skills. Yeah. Like, yeah. But but you need. Tell me what you want to do. So like, so you're now up in this tree, like you're on this fat branch, there's leaves all around you, water is still like trickling in from above, and the creatures not beneath you are now like looking up at you, still, like growling, like kind of, trying to feel out the situation.
Yeah. Let's see. I got.
You can go ahead and look at your inventory because you have everything that's in there, and you also have your surroundings. Like, you can do whatever you want in this game, so long as you can explain.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Right. So as my bonus action, I use pretty much. Can I throw my darts as a bonus action?
How much damage do your darts do?
That is a very good question. I do not know.
1d4. Yes. Actually. Yeah, I'm gonna say you may use a dart as a bonus action.
Okay. One dart.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit. Yeah, roll to hit. You throw a dart, it whizzes past.
Damn. Okay. And that's all I can do, right?
You have an action.
Let's see. Action. Okay, fine. Action. Since I do have a little bit of time, I am up in the tree. I do my best to stop the bleeding on... Yeah, sort of like just to clean myself up, like get the gunk off my face and try to do something about my shoulder, which is, I assume it's still bleeding.
Yeah, it is still bleeding. Do something. Describe it to me. What do you want to do specifically?
Okay. Try to tighten my clothing as best as I can and like grab just to stop the blood flow. So essentially, it just like grab my bag, get my bag, find any extra cloth, and just jam it underneath my shirt.
Okay, go ahead and roll medical with disadvantage. Okay, so you take the cloth, you stuff it under your shirt, the blood is still coming out, it's hurting like hell, but you keep the pressure on it, looking down at those the spiders beneath you, like thinking of your next move. The one small spider that's left is going to crawl to the tree and move up with ease. It is now in your face on the branch. It's going to go ahead and roll to attack. It lunges at you, you move out of the way, and it tumbles down just clumsily, like trying to put its leg on the branch and then slips, tumbles backwards, slamming into the ground. Dealing 2 points of bludgeoning damage to it. That hurt, and it is now on the ground screaming, but it's not out. The big spider is going to move back, shake its tail, and then it just fires this gigantic stream of webbing at you. And, you move out of the way, and hits the back of the tree, above you. So, not exactly behind you. It was, just going for your face kind of thing. So it just arched up, and then, hit the area above you. And it is going to move up, and it is beneath the tree. It is now, with its legs up on the tree, is now looking straight up at you. And as it's doing that, let's do some other rolls here. Where's the D20? An arrow whizzes past its face, and then, looks back, and you see 3 familiar faces come out of the brush, all weapons at the ready, looking like, Elod! You okay?
Every single time, I swear, when I'm messing up, you guys have to show up.
The girl that's next to the man that said that was just like, yeah, you do fuck up a lot, don't you? And this other man, which you said nothing, and all these people by name, for right now, I'll this big human mute named Voldar comes charging forward with bloodlust in his eyes with a gigantic club. And and he swings as the spider and leaves a dent in the mud ahead of you as the spider moves to the side. And as the other man takes out his short sword and swings, and again the spider moves back. And it is now your turn.
Okay, it's my turn. Is the spider still underneath the tree, the big one?
No, the big one kept on moving aside to dodge these strikes. And the other one is still on its back, reeling from the pain.
Okay. About how far away is the big one?
The big one is probably it's on a slope because you're high up in the air right now. It's around I want to say 30 feet from you if you count the vertical downward slope, since it's how math and all that. So it's around 30 feet.
Okay, so it's not something that I can jump to.
You could certainly try. 30 feet is your movement, but you would have to jump down, 15 feet to land and then attack?
Yes.
You could certainly try.
Well, and I only use one of my key points my other key point is bonus as a bonus action on turn, jump distance is doubled during it.
Okay.
So if I lunge out of the tree, if I make it just right, I could land on top of the spider.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Is that what you're gonna do?
No, because I'm not that dumb, and I don't have enough health to survive that if I do mess up.
Well, if you're using ki, since your jumping speed is doubled, you are using a magic. So I think fall damage is for that distance. I would say fall damage is would pretty much be negated because you're jumping within what it says that the bonus is. So like if you were going beyond that, I would say you take fall damage, but since it is within it, you would not take fall damage. You would just be doing a maneuver.
Do I want to try to do something badass, or should I just do something lame? Struggle. Well, hold on. Hey, bro. Alright, it's my brother. He just walked into the room. Say hello, Eric. He says hello. Okay. He's special. He's special. He's here with his wife.
Nice.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I descend the tree.
Okay.
And I attack the spider that's already been.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to attack with advantage. Okay, with advantage.
Oh wait.
So roll another d20.
I did click advantage though.
Well, I guess for now just roll one more time because you've already rolled. So as you take your spear back to finish this thing off, you put it down. You like your footing gets slightly off and you kind of slide to the step and the spear blade lands right next to its face where you were aiming. It is now the spider's turn. It is going to use its action to get up and strike at you.
Oh, I have the worst luck this time.
As your foot slips, you duck just as it lunges up to try to take a bite right where your body was. So you're like, Wah! And then the spider just leaps up at you and misses. It is now the big boy's turn. It looks at the man with the short sword, that just swung at it, and it's gonna try to hit them. Lunges forward, and for every step that it takes, the man takes 2 steps back, missing horribly, and it is now. Let's see. It is now your party members 2. Let's see here. That's a good start. All right, excellent. So that's excellent. 4. Okay. So, an arrow gets pulled back and fires, aiming for this big spider that's looming over you, and its arrow courses through its back, dealing 6 points of piercing damage.
And what's the health on this thing? Or is it relevant?
You don't know.
Okay.
Okay. And the barbarian swings as it reels back from the arrow, trying to gain its distance, and the man with the long sword swings his blade as well, and frickin' misses again. And this other guy now, like trailing from behind, like, guys, oh God! And then takes out a dagger, throws it, and misses horribly. It's like, oh motherfucker! It's now your turn.
Oh gosh. I punched the spider.
You punched.
Yeah, I used. Screw the spear thing, right?
Go ahead and roll it.
Do I roll dexterity or just whatever?
Just roll a d20 and add your proficiency bonus. 50. That's going to do it anyway. So you just punch it in the face. It goes flying and splatters against the tree and then falls down to the ground dead.
So done with this shit.
This spider sees that you did this, and it's not happy. It is not happy. It again reels up, jumps at you, trying to swipe at you again, and you just fucking move to the side, and your teammates are like, still light on your feet after taking like 5 bites. God, you're not useless after all. All right, let's do this. And sorry, this is the. I'm going to assign voices of it in the heat of the moment. Okay, that's a. One second, let me see that. 1, 2, 3, 4. They all seem to attack in these coordinated positions that they learned, and the spider jumps up in the air, dodging all of it, and landing back down before like taking its deep breath again. You're up.
Okay. Alrighty then. Oh, I just realized. I was looking on like attacks and spell casting. It's like leather workers, 1 piercing.
All right.
Alright, yeah. Okay. I attack with my spear.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
Wait, before I attack, where am I in? Like, relative?
It is so like the tree that you're on is like now to the left of the spider. The spider's now staring at your friends, which now came came from like if you were looking out from the tree that you were at, they came from the left of that tree, all like funneling into the clearing. The spider is now looking that way, and the tree that they all came out of is to the right, and behind them is more brush. So it is like at your 2 o'clock.
Okay. All right. I attack.
Okay, roll the hit.
Normal. No disadvantage.
No, yep. D20. Roll the hit.
Oh my gosh.
You jab your spear forward, and it just kind of like lifts up its leg, and then just like not even looking at you, and it's going to lunge forward at this man that with the long sword, which again as Voladar, and it rolls 5. He just moves to the side as it swipes at him, gives it a funny look as the rest of your party attacks.
Are they sucking?
They all fire and swing, and the frickin' barbarian man that Volan hammers down his club, dealing 8 points of bludgeoning damage and to its face, and it after that hit, it is shaken. It is not looking so hot. You're up.
Okay. I lunge again.
Okay, roll the hit.
Oh my god.
Are you rolling your? Are you adding your proficiency? What's your proficiency? I think it's 3.
Oh shoot! I haven't been adding proficiency. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Two.
pretty.
Plus
I'm
2.
Okay, I've been adding 3 just in my head until it's relevant. In this case, it would be relevant. How do you want to do this? So
Alright,
basically, when I say that, it pretty much means like it is the killing blow. How do you want to do this?
Okay. All right. You've seen. Have you seen The Return of the King?
Oh yeah,
You know how like Sam stabs Shelob?
yeah.
Something like that.
Okay. So, you take your spear. You've been missing over and over again. This thing has given you enough shit. You run towards it. It swipes at you. You freaking lift up your spear, just barely caressing the top of it, so that it's like creating this barely audible slit, just so that it's uncomfortable, and then you just take it down and just lift up as it goes clean through the top, and you just take it back down as it emits this high-pitched screech, and starts falling down as you roll out of the way, and it ain't moving. All right.
I turn to my companions and say to them, "Well, I got the killing blow. I get the XP."
That's pretty fucking meta. Do you actually say that?
Oh.
Okay. And again, this is all an exercise, so take this moment to try to find your character. So, Volin comes near you, and this is puts his club back on a sling in his back, and takes a breather. You all right?
I've had worse. I've also had a hell of a lot better, though. I should probably get these wounds looked at.
As you say that, you start to feel the heat, the battle, the everything of the battle just hit you like a rock. Now that the adrenaline's finally starting to calm down, you can finally hear the air around you again. Everything seems clear, like you have a bigger picture. And the exhaustion just hits you, and the pain of all the blows that you've undertaken just hit you like a freaking train. It's like, oh yeah, I've been freaking stabbed by spider teeth like a few thousand times, it feels like. Valdar, the man with the long sword, sheathes his sword to his side, rather. Shields his sword to his side. Walks up to you, motions for your right arm, where the injury that got pretty close to your neck, motions his hands toward it, and you to come closer.
I start walking closer, and I do what I can to undo my jacket, my coat, my shirt, whatever you want to call it.
You do that, and your skin is showing. He takes a look at it, reaches into his pouch, rubs some local herb into it, which you know as Mjolna. Which as soon as it hits your wound, you just take a deep breather as the wound starts to go numb. And he motions to your other wounds as he begins to rub it all in. The blood is still coming out, but the tenderness of the piercing just seems to have vanished. Have you ever had mouth medicine that they put into your mouth and kind of gets rid of cold? It's like that, except for with your arm. So it smells a little funky, but the pain is just and the tenderness just kind of go away. Rena puts her bow back on her back, walks up to you. It's like, think you can make it back?
Uh, don't think I've got much of a choice, do I?
Hegas, which is the man that threw the dagger, goes up and picks up his dagger and is like, ain't that the truth? Freaking Rena, turns to him, like, kind of gives him a dirty look. He's like, all right, I guess, all right, let's do this. She, reaches to the other side, pulls out, a hunting knife, goes to the big spider, starts cutting into it, and the rest of your companions do the same. Start doing the same on the corpses that are scattered about. What do you do?
Mm. I go to retrieve the dart that I threw earlier.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll perception.
Yeah. So I go to retrieved weapons thrown, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Roll perception, and that's a. Okay, you look and you look to find this thing, but it just disappeared. There's mud, like sliding everywhere. You dig through it, you look for the general vicinity, but you just can't find it. And
I sigh and yeah.
Okay.
All right. I start doing my best to clean myself off, clean my gear, clean the spear, whatever filth.
All right. At this Rena looks over and is like, "You gonna help or what?"
What are...
At this point, like, they're cutting into this thing and just like weeding out organs and things, and like you've seen this before. They're trying to get meat off of these things.
Okay, now I know. It's like, what are they doing? But now I know. It's like, yep, I'll be there in a minute. So, and I walk over to the nearest spider and start. What do you want to call it? Dressing it.
Okay. So you walk over to the spider that the man with the club, his name is Vulin, is at, and he just starts handing you like useful bits. And he's like, expectantly, and just like take something out and then just hands it to you with like not even looking you in the face.
And I'm supposed to know what's going on.
Well, yeah, you've
Okay.
you've done this many times. You're a hunting party. You left to find either meat or herbs to bring back. So, he's handing you like the edible part of the spider to put in your pack, pretty much. Like he's just like put it in your pack, dumb shit.
All right. Could I? I'm looking at my. Okay. Yeah. So, like, I get pretty much. He's handing me the meat, so I get the meat and then wrap it up, put in my pack as best as I can.
All right.
I also. Could I roll for insight? Just so I'm...
What are you trying to roll? Which inside of what?
Taking care of the spider, I guess. Like, okay, he's handing me meat. What do I do with this? I don't remember.
Okay, I'm just gonna say you know what to do with it. So,
I know what to do.
Yeah. You've done this 1,000,001 times. So he's handing you like the meat to the spider. Normally, like you can do this by yourself. Like you know which parts are edible, which parts are not. He's handing you this meat that you've eaten many times. You have cloth in your backpack that is specifically meant to wrap this thing up with, weave together from the local plant life. You just wrap it up in that, let the try to tighten it together to try your best not to let any of the blood seep through. Smells fucking god awful, but you know what to do with it.
Well, I start doing that. I turn towards the man and I say to him, "So, where were you guys?"
Basically, he was like, just like, without like, like he's like, like now, like as you say that, he like makes a decision, then just jams his whole arm into this spider torso, like reaching around, feeling for something. It's like, I was like, well, we were staring at the ground with our, and then he just yanks out this sack that is the venom sack of the spider, and is pinching the opening, and then like starts like twisting it up, and doing this this maneuver again that you've seen a million times to keep the venom from going anywhere. Walking around, looking for useful things, as we usually do. And then you started crying like a bitch. And then he's just hands you the venom sack expectantly again. So we came rushing here. And then he says that kind of with like imagine like someone that doesn't smile a lot, but he's trying to interact with you, but he doesn't know how, kind of thing. So like kind of like saying that in an awkward way, like trying to poke fun at you, but like trying to make like light conversation, but sucks at it.
Hilarious, I reply. Then what was the name of the man with the long sword?
His name was Volodar.
Elod, and he's the most. Does he have the most experience amongst us?
He is he's a half elf like you. He is a mute. He doesn't speak. He got an injury. Like the scar is still like on his throat from when it happened. They couldn't quite, like from like various reasons, they couldn't quite save his voice. So he's definitely seen a few fights. You don't really know him all that well. Like you know him from the story of like he's a mute. So like people kind of know him around for that, but you don't know him that well.
Okay.
You were just kind of like, all right, like the man that kind of arranges the hunting party was like, all right, you five, go out.
Okay. Well, I turn towards him and ask him, "Hey, you reckon that there's anything good in their lair?" And I gesture towards the hole in the tree.
He looks up at the tree. And like both of his hands now fully into like this gigantic spider that you killed. Looks back up at you like, I'm busy. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. I shrug my shoulders and go back to helping. What's his name?
All right.
Dress.
All right.
Store.
All right. So the little you help him finish off that, and everyone else finishes off the little spiders, and they start like you all like then go to the bigger spider as he's pulling out like these even like bigger chunks and starts cutting it out. Start yanking out the fangs, and then I'm gonna say like for like you do the whole process to taking everything that's useful. And like taking everything that you can, like all of your packs are filled with freaking spider meat and other like and teeth and other things that you can use from the beast. I was like, all right, I'll take point. What do you say we head back? And it was like Volodar, she's like, and then walks over to the spider lair and has like webbing all throughout it. And then snaps his fingers, and like a little rock beneath him begins to glow, and he just goes in, looks up, tosses it up, and watch, and then you watch as the thing goes back down. He looks over and just nods no to you.
No deal.
He just odds.
Wait, he nods or he shakes his head?
He shakes his head. So he's like,
okay. All right, I shrug. Oh well. Right then, let's get going.
all right.
Burning sunshine.
All right, Hagas just which is the man that threw the dagger earlier is like, I've never really been good at sticking my my half my torso inside of dead animals. Not really my thing. And kind of starting to straighten himself, and Rena just looks over at her. It's like, and why are you here? With speak not with this thing sharp intensity of you are a liability. Then are you saying you're a liability? Kind of look. It's like it's just not my preference. Okay. She looks back. Fine. Volan, take point. Elod, you're in the back with me. And you begin walking through the brush back from where you came, pushing aside all of these, all the foliage and the vines and everything, hearing, the beasts, of the forest, growl and howl, while in the creatures, again, going from tree to tree, and birds above you. And it's a good 4 miles before you get back to the rest of the tribe. And you're just walking.
Yeah. Well, I turn towards the woman. What's her name again?
Rena.
Rena. Okay. Rena. And what race is she? Elf?
Yeah, she's a high elf.
Okay. I turn towards Rena and I say, "Well, thank you for saving my life back there. Much appreciated."
She, looks back at you with actually you're in front of her. She's in the back. You're directly in front of her, just to make sure that you don't fall behind. It's like, anytime you need it, brother.
Well,
How's your arm?
Hurts. What do you expect? I got bit.
Yeah, I would expect it to hurt. She says that in a kind of way that implies she knew that it was a rhetorical question. Again, she isn't much of a talker, but again, you started the conversation, so she's trying to reciprocate. Haggis, which is Haggis, who was in front of you, is all yeah, man, I'm surprised your arm isn't fucking turning green. And Volan turns still looking ahead, is how do we know it isn't? And Rena kind of starts to look at you with a little bit of concern.
I comically do this with my face, and then try to look at the dressing on my arm, see if it is turning any fun colors.
You look at the piercing. The blood is just starting to really the herbs that he put on the arm are still helping a lot, and the wound is starting to cauterize. That's the word. And the blood's starting to clot.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quite tell with this green goop that is like, like all like slathered around your arm. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out later. It's not going anywhere.
Rena looks like,
Hope not.
yeah. Rena looks up at you and like, like nods in approval. It's like, yeah, I have to agree with him on that. I was like, ugh. And then like kind of like looks like as you like look at it, he just looks and like, ugh. And then like looks forward. All right.
Are we? Oh, how far out are we from the camp?
Okay, I'm gonna say at this point you're close. You're within like 5. Like, you walk in silence, for a long time. It's like realizing that idle chit chat really isn't any of your forte. You just walk forward, and you start to hear. You start to hear the warding chimes of the Dolan Gwaith, your tribe. The Dolan Gwaith meaning in Elvish, the hidden people.
Mm-hmm.
You walk forward, you push aside the brush, and you see your Dolan Gwaith establishment. The sound of the chimes fill everyone's ears, and a sense of calm just goes between everyone. This feeling of safety. You look at the boards beneath the tree, and look up the ladders and the people, going from hut to hut. Short shatters, like people talking from one tree to another tree, echo through the gigantic clearing. Beneath the tree, the swamp is bubbling. You see, like fish swimming all around. The occasional, like, crocodile-like creature just, like sitting there, like not really paying anyone mind. Walking along the crickling floorboards, going to the ladder. Eventually, one of you takes a separate path, and then another, until eventually you come to the tree where you know that your hut is, and the only one that's with you is Rena, about to take a separate path, saying, "You should see Cecilia about the wound in your arm." And you know Cecilia as the high elf priestess that oversees basically all the injuries of your tribe. And she nods, like not even waiting for a response, and then goes about her way. DC. DC'd. Dang, the pace was going so well too. I guess now I wait. Oh, hello! Heyo. What was the last thing
Yeah.
that you? What was the last thing that you heard me say?
I should go visit Cecilia.
Yeah.
I believe her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rena just turns and begins to walk away, slowly fading in the distance. She, as you know, you kind of see her climbing up a rope, going up to like a tree on the other side.
I suppose I should. And I drop off my gear and my hut, gather everything I think I'll need.
Okay, so you're gonna go to your hut first.
Yeah.
Okay. So you look up at this tree that you are calling home until your tribe packs up and moves again. You reach for the rope, and as you tug yourself up, your arm begins to pulsate, and you're like, oh, right. And you look around, and then you look up, and you're like, and then shrug, grab, and then start painfully pulling yourself up as your wound now begins to fester and bleed yet again. And then you reach. Okay, go what?
Wait. Can I roll for acrobatics
What for?
to climb the tree without using my right arm? My injured arm.
Okay, you can certainly try. Roll
Okay.
the acrobatics. You reach
successful.
your left arm, and then you pull up, and then you just kind of drop. Oh no, you can't lift your body weight with one arm.
Oh, too fat. All right.
Okay.
I leave the hut and go straight to Cecilia.
No, you're not at the hut yet. This is to get
Okay.
up.
Oh, dang it. No, I have to go to the hut. Oh, dang.
Okay, so you roll up, and everything that I said before happens, and then you reach the board, like, like, people around you, look at you, again, like, with a concerned look. Oh, god damn it! You're gone again. Hello again. Okay, so you climb up the tree. People look at you kind of like with a concerned look, but then figure that you can handle yourself. Like, all of these faces, your neighbors, you've seen them before. As you walk forward, and to a very familiar hut that you crafted out of like makeshift like leaves, like, and you've kind of gotten a little extravagant just because you've done this so many times. And it's a 2-person hut. You push aside the dangling vines that make the door, and you see your father sitting there meditating.
I quietly go sit down my stuff and leave him in peace.
he just sits there, like, staring at this, the shrine, kind of, that he built to your mother. And just, like, you know, like, has, like, 2 lit candles silently as you try your best to put your stuff down and not disturb him. Okay, you do that.
Yeah. What's the inside of my hut look like?
So you have this kind of honor like shrine to your mother that he prays to Xanthar almost every day, hoping that, you know, she passed in peace and that he granted her the honor of allowing her into, you know, the kind of like Valhalla. Think Valhalla, except for a little less, you know, like everyone's drunk and partying all the time, and a little more like the paradise for the elves, except for, you know, like, but with more of a warrior spirit. And so you have that on one side. You have 2 beds, which is where so he's facing that way, and that's like the direction that's facing into the tree that you're set up on. Behind him, which is facing outside from the tree, is just a window looking out onto everything, which isn't much of a window so much as, like, again, like, just vines like draped over an opening that, like, kind of has like a makeshift shutter to try to keep the cold out as much as it can. You have 2 lanterns lit on the shrine with burning candles in it to make sure like nothing fucking catches fire. And you also have a fireplace that's kind of like in the center. That's kind of like, I want to say, dug out of this gravel-like material that, again, you're very familiar with, because this is all very traditional, that you've like done a million times. And you don't so much light a fire there as keep coals there, just, you know, to keep your feet warm and your head warm. And, you know, the hut isn't very well insulated, but it's better than nothing. So you have this kind of like bed of circle of coals in the dead center, and then if you're facing the tree to the right are 2 beds. The one on the left is your father's, and the one on the right is yours. And you know, like, you don't hear any of the pitter patter of rain above you, just because the tree above you kind of like covers most of it, and the branches kind of like, you know, fall all in separate places. You have a chime out front, which is, you know, one of the thousands you think of warding chimes that the tribe uses to keep away creatures and anything else with the magics that Xanthar taught you. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Everything is damp. It's quite humid. It's still sprinkling outside, but it's peaceful. And yeah.
Okay.
And I guess to the left is the doorway. Forgot to mention.
Yeah. Well, I turn left and head out the doorway.
Before you leave, your dad just kind of like turns his head. It's like, "How'd you hurt yourself?" Without even like looking up or opening his eyes.
Accident during hunting. Bit off a little bit more than I could chew.
He, again, like, still heavy in thought, looking toward, and like on his knees, just meditating. It's like, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Think before you act. And then he stands up, turns to you, looks up and down. You look like shit.
And this is your heir. Aren't you proud of me?
At that, he kind of smiles. And like, very, very controllably, like, nudges like it hits the like your hurt shoulder like a little bit, kind of like like a gentle love tap, like knowing like how tender it must be. Just like it's like, you're damn right. You gonna go see Cecilia?
That I am.
Great. Kind of like turns around and like goes through his stuff and like looks around. Is like, give this to her for me, would you? Kind of I assume she'd want the vial back, and she just hands you an empty vial.
I will. Said. I'll see you around, Father.
And you know he nods at you and looks back at the shrine and looks back at you. I don't mean to get sentimental or anything, but you do kind of look like her.
I smile sadly and look him in the eyes and say, "You've told me before."
And you know he has a solemn smile, like remembering like the dozens of times that he must have said that to you. And he nods at you and is like, "Well, if you don't need to stay there, I'll expect you by sundown. And other than that, you're a grown-ass man. Do what you want." And then he goes back to kneeling, except for this time he's facing toward the fire and like putting his hands by it, trying to warm himself.
I gently pat him on the shoulder and then head out to Cecilia's for medical treatment.
All right, so you walk out the door as like the faint glow of your hut begins to go behind you, and you walk along these rickety, at best, walkways that definitely are known for collapsing, but as you pretty much pick up and move every like 3.5 months, it doesn't really matter too much. Like the fact that you can do this at all is like takes a lot of effort, but it's necessary. And through the aid of practice, Zeldin's teachings and magics, you've managed to make a very homely place. Before in this place the flooding gets so bad that there's no possible way to really, like, there's always rushing water beneath you, and everything just kind of gets washed away and reborn. The only thing that really sticks around are the trees. As you walk along, you come across this bridge, and like rope bridge. People are coming and going on the other side. The one that's coming toward you has people going, and coming toward you, and the one that you're on is the one that has people going. And you see this bigger than average notch in this bigger than average hut that actually goes into the tree, and this is Cecilia's place. And you walk in, push aside the opening. You see the dozens of sick people like laying down on mats. The tree is kind of cut into to make this like big opening so that there's more space. Dozens of people coughing, and kind of like some people are having nightmares. Smells a little bit like death, but Cecilia is just sitting sitting over one person, hand over them, just with a blue luminescent glow over their head as she closes their eyes, stands up, sighs, and looks around, and then looks toward you, her blue luminescent eyes just staring at you, like not like so much like full on Dune glow, but like there's a light to them. And she looks at you and puts on this gigantic smile as if she's like really happy to see you. She like walks over to you kind of excitedly. It's like, Elod! What a surprise! And then like she was like, this initial excitement to seeing you, and then like she realizes that like, oh, if you're here, that means that something's wrong. And she's like, and then she's like, and then she notices, like the blood on your clothes, like, come.
I messed up again.
She smiles like, that happens to all of us. Sit down, would you? She motions, she motions you to this little stump to sit down. Take off your shirt.
I take it off.
And she notices the herb that's like been rubbed in, kind of takes this flask of, to you, mystery liquid, and like uncorks it, and then like pours it over the wound. Feels like kind of like the numbness that was on it is washing away with the water. So like the pain that was being numbed is like now being washed away by this liquid, and it's starting to hurt just as much as it happened like when it was there. It's like, I bet climbing up here wasn't easy for you.
No, it wasn't.
But you manage.
I think that, yeah. Maybe next year we can put in stairs.
She lets out this nice clean laugh. Pours it over the rest of your wounds. Kind of like, starts like tilting your head, taking a look. Like looks at, the wound a little closer. It's like, please tell me if I'm hurting you. And, like starts applying pressure like all around it, and like you feel that this area that you're applying pressure to is like really tender, doesn't quite hurt. She goes up another layer, like a little bit more, feels it out a little bit. It hurts real bad.
How bad is it?
Like imagine like when she's poking it, it's like her finger is kind of like pushing, like if her finger could like push just through your arm and just stab into it by poking it, that's what it feels like.
I was okay, but also like how bad, like me, Elod, asking her, Cecilia, how bad is the injury?
Okay.
The pain good. That's a good description.
Okay, so but you're just ignoring the pain? Okay, she goes up further and the pain doubles.
Ouch.
Okay, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. So there, it started to hurt right around there?
It's hurting in general, but in that area, yep, it's hurting pretty bad.
Well, lucky for you, there isn't much venom in this, but and then she, her hand starts to glow, and she like lowers her head down, like and starts mumbling things, and like with her other hand starts like doing these weird shapes, and then mumbles, and your skin you just feel this warmth of your right arm, different from the warmth of the sigil, which is still, like you still feel like the mark of the sigil, like it isn't like luminescent, but it's like you can feel her presence, and like as her sigil grows closer to you, and you feel everyone else around you. So like you can kind of like feel the shape just like with a comforting warmth. So it's not like that so much as like that feeling of when a fever breaks, where like you've just been sweating for a long time, but like you like that morning after, where you just kind of feel that sigh of relief. You just kind of feel that go throughout your arm, and then slowly go up your neck, and then like go through your head, and the lightheadedness that you felt from exhaustion just kind of starts to float. And, you know, she still goes, and then the wound begins to close. And she looks at the other one, pours the liquid on it. Again, it starts to hurt. All right, same thing. Tell me when it starts to hurt. Does the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Except for stops short of where she did last time. And, like, you know, like, where it still hurt quite a bit, but, you know, you didn't say anything. It's like, so it's a little above this is where it starts to hurt, right?
Yes.
Okay. She again puts her head down, her hand glows, wound seals. You feel a lot better. You feel a lot better. And he's like, oh, and drink this. She hands you a little kind of like homemade, like kind of like a small skin, like what's the word? Like kind of like think like the thing that kind of like a sheep's stomach, except for like tiny, but like it contains liquid kind of thing.
Flask?
Yeah, it's like a flask, except for like, you know, made from skin kind of thing. So like just down this, and it's like let's see, like that big, like that by that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I down it.
All right, you down it. It tastes like a mixture of dirt, swamp water, some faint sourness that you can't quite identify, and it makes your gag reflex go off real good. Go ahead and roll con.
Oh my gosh. Okay, where'd that go?
Okay, that'll do it. So you manage to keep it down. You know, you swallow it. You're like, ugh, and settles down in your stomach. Oddly enough, your stomach, like it's one of those things that you have and you expect your stomach to feel terrible afterwards, but it doesn't. And she's like, and smiles like, I think that, I don't know, do it. You know, kind of like scratches the back of her head. You can, put your shirt back on now.
As I put my shirt back on, I, say to her, reminds me of the time I, tried to bake vegetables. Never again.
She laughs, remembering, you know, you coming back with you know, your hands, you know, charred and burned, like streaked, in like this stone oven that you tried to make yourself with, like, you know, like old, like little childhood you. You know, she's like 200 years old, so she remembers this, you know, like 12 or like 11-year-old kid, you know, doing something stupid, and she snickers and is like, you've grown up a lot since then. Again, like, eyes you up and down.
I just remembered. And then I reach and I grab the
vial,
empty flask that Vincent gave me.
Well, yeah, like, it's not a flask. This thing's a full-on glass vial.
Okay, the glass vial.
Yeah, and
it's like,
she looks at it and she's like, oh, thank you. You definitely saved me the trouble. And then she takes it from you, and she, you know, puts it on the table. It's like, yeah, glass is kind of hard to come by.
I can imagine.
How is your father, by the way?
Both he and I miss our mother.
Yeah,
very much so.
She nods, and like, at this point, your mother probably died around like, like not
20, 30, 40 years ago.
Something like not that long ago, relative to how long you went without her.
So, I'm gonna say like maybe like I apologize. I'm spacing on your age. When
60, 70. She died when I was 15.
she died. Oh, she died when you were 15. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Again, apologies. I should have had that in my notes.
Mhm.
So yeah, she died maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
The memory is still pretty fresh. And she sort of looks down, and she didn't know really. Again, like no one really knew the exact circumstances of how she died. Like they only know how her body looked afterward, and
What was left of it?
yeah, and she was, of course, the first person to really be called, and she remembers that scene, and she identified it as clearly a death of arcane origin, though she couldn't pinpoint what. And yeah, she remembers, yeah, she was there a little after you were. She's like, well, kind of not knowing what to say. I'm still...
I changed the subject. And I gesture to the glass bottle. I say to her, now, when was the last time we, as a people, made glass?
She kind of
Or
looks
have
at
we?
She kind of furrows her brow a little bit. It's like, yes, you're bloody hell. You're not really much of a follower of Xanthar, are you? I'm sorry. I know we've known each other for a long time. It just it just escapes me sometime. The acolytes come by here every so often and give us supplies like this. Your father was quite ill a few weeks ago, as you know, and something that I couldn't quite decipher. So I left it to Zaldin. And then, she looks at, picks up the glass vial and looks at it admiringly. It's like, what is your issue with Zaldin? I know I don't mean to pry. I just it's hard to understand. She looks at you with a smile, no contempt whatsoever. She just really wants to understand. She really wants to understand you.
Yeah, and to clarify, Zeldin is the god.
Yeah,
Sure.
Zaldin is the god that rules over Nuala.
This grim, hard look in my eyes, and then
okay, she sees that and she's like, I don't mean to pry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. That's.
no, it's fine. Now, I am merely skeptical. We know of how little we do know about this god and his motives, and what and why this place is the way it is.
She nods at you and looking you in the eyes, trying her best to be sympathetic to this cause. It's it's hard, I do understand. It's hard for me to to fully understand what you mean. Oh. And there he goes again. Another crash. Oh, that was me. I disconnected. Hey, that was me that time. Apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's all right.
Well, yeah. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So she looks at you and is like, it's hard for me to understand how it's hard to understand someone that's done so much for us and have such doubt. I don't know where that doubt comes from. I'm sorry. She's trying so hard to still be like sympathetic and kind of like she clearly has affection toward you and doesn't want you to think ill of her. She just she really like you get the sense that she just really does want to know you more.
Yeah. I smile and tell her that there's no harm done. Think of my doubt not so much as disbelief or disregard, but rather as a process of refining my faith in him.
She smiles at that. And nods and like, that definitely helps. I think I can understand that. Should you need help in your quest for faith, I'm always here. You can stop by anytime. And then she hears a Laura! And then this guy gets up and starts thrashing her. And then she runs over, and starts whispering. It's like, hey, it's okay, Laura, grabs her arm and is like, it's okay. And then her hand starts to glow as she puts her arms on his chest, like, Laura, and his eyes start to fade, and then she just grabs him before he falls down, and then just sets him back down. I guess not any time. I am a bit busy, but you you know where my hut is, right? You can come by if you ever if I can do anything.
Of course. I will remember. And thank you very much for the help that you've done to me, taking care of me.
And she nods. Of course. And then she looks back at the man, and begins like whispering some incantations. And like, just then you start to notice like sweat, the sweat that's pouring down her face, and like how like saying these incantations as much as she does every day, how much of a toll that can take on her. And every time she says an incantation, the mark that's on the side of her eye, like kind of like tattooed, kind of so like the opening of the sigil is like going around her eye, and then like begins to like glow this luminescent blue every time she casts a spell, and then her hand stops glowing. She starts panting. Well, I think you're free to sleep in your own bed tonight.
I look forward to it. And and if there's anything that you need from me, if there's anything that I can do to help around here, because you are busy, please send a runner and let me know.
She nods. I was like, okay, yes, I am quite busy at the moment, so, unless there's anything else you need.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at you, expectantly, like, kind of like asking you, like, is there anything else that you need?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ask her, what do you know or remember of anything from like the world before us, like before we came to Nawala?
She nods. Yeah. Yeah. I was only a child, but I remember bright lights in the sky. I remember the bustling marketplaces. This delicious food that I have yet to eat ever again. I remember having a place where I didn't need to move. I could just go back there every day. I remember my parents, and she kind of looks down, kind of like with a, kind of like reminiscent, like first cheery, and then like as her mind starts to drift of her childhood home, it's like, I wouldn't say that it's, she kind of struggles to find the words, and then she looks back and is like, I guess if there's one word that I could use to describe it, it would be calm.
Calm.
Yeah, as she said that, she like kind of like looks a little past you at the rain falling, and like the rickety bridge leading into it, like looking like she like her head's somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. I look at patient that she was taking care of, the one that was thrashing. Calm. That does sound nice. Then I quietly leave.
She nods and then looks back to her patient. You step outside and look at the bridge in front of you. You look around and you notice that the sun on the canopy is even less now, and the forest all around you begins to darken, and these orbs of light that are all around the trees from where your people, the Dolan Gweth, the Dolan lights, they call it, all around you. The Dolan Gwaith, rather. And slowly the trees begin to illuminate this light blue light as the sun begins to set.
Well then, best be heading home.
All right. Go across, back from where you came. Vincent has is like sitting at his at the fire still, kind of putting in some more of that stone that heats up real hot. And there is an empty plate next to him and a full plate across from him with some fish, some kind of grayish meat that you identify as spider meat, and a little garnished with various miscellaneous herbs and spices that you've known to be edible. And, looks into you coming in the doorway, and he's kind of motions for you to sit down.
I sit down with him. Well, my arm's feeling a bit better, which is good.
He looks at you and says, go ahead and you can put your bloody clothes in the corner. I'll take care of it by the morning.
Thank you, Father.
He sort of nods and then picks up the plate that's right next to you and is like, as the acquirer of this meal, you are entitled to a larger portion. And he hands it to you with practically the same portion that you would get normally. So he says that in a joking manner, it might as well be the same amount, but technically it's slightly more.
I, with stiff dignity, say, "Thank you, my lowly servant."
He laughs and kind of puts his head down a little bit. You'd think that for every stab wound you'd get at least 1 more pound of meat.
One would think that, wouldn't they?
I remember when I was on those hunting parties.
Back in my day.
Shut your mouth. He kind of smiles, acknowledging, and puts his hand down. And then he looks at your shoulder and all the red that's pooled all around your shirt, and his face gets a little serious. How far out were you?
A fair amount.
Yeah, you were around 4 miles out. So, like, a fair amount. And I don't think I could have made it back if I were you. Kind of, like, looks solemn, like, this feeling like he's around, like, 50 years old now. Like, actually, no, he's more like late 40s. So, like, he's starting to feel his age a little bit. It's like, I know that this is odd, but, I know that I must sound like a broken record, but you do never know what's gonna happen out here. And yeah, he kind of looks up. Tomorrow, why don't I show you how to build these huts again, you know, just to make sure that you know. And, like, as of now, he's shown you how to do it, like, over 1,000 times. Like, it's what it feels like. What in actuality is more like around, like, 50 times. But, like, that's still a lot of times. And, like, you feel like you know it really well. But, like,
Yeah,
he says it kind of with a solemn expression, you know, like some of the room.
Well, I turned to him and I was actually thinking you could tell me a little bit more about the sigil's power.
At the mention of that, he's like, his head goes from solemn to, like, serious, and he looks at you. Is this about your mother?
Somewhat.
Why do you want to know?
Because
I mean, he realized that he cut you off, and then he was like, then he just raised his hands like, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. What I want to know and understand is what happened to Mother, and because all of us bear the same mark, and I do not want this fate to befall myself or you or any others here.
He nods.
And I want to understand the full extent, the consequences of this thing.
He pats the mark, which is like on his left breast, kind of like right there. Is like kind of pats it. This right here. This binds us to Zeldin. This connects everyone to Zeldin. But it also connects us to each other, as Elod said. As your mother said. Again, corrects himself. She had this fascination, this idea that all of this power that Zeldin bestows upon us, what if we had full access to it? What if we could go into each other? What if we could tap into one another and work together to create a power like nothing we have ever known? We could control the weather around us. We could stop having to move. She was fascinated with this idea, and she kind of stops for a little bit. She wouldn't stop. Especially after you were born, she worked even harder. She died making herself an experiment. She figured out a way to siphon the power, but all it did was... And then she kind of looks down. Everyone knows.
I remember.
Yeah. Well, wasn't all for nothing, though. She did teach us how to connect with each other. So it wasn't all for nothing, but... And then she kind of looks down. Tomorrow, let's do something a little more interesting.
All right.
I know that I can't stop you with your fascination of the mark, and I know I can't stop you with your questioning of Zaldin, but I can show you how to not be an idiot. Tomorrow, let's go out and I'm going to teach you something special. Something that you should never use unless you have no other choice. But Lord knows that I know that you would figure out a way to do it on your own and might get yourself killed, so I'll show you how to do it right. And then he kind of, like, makes a motion with his hands. And, like, the drapes from the doorway start to pull inward like a breeze as he slowly closes his eyes and meditates, and your sigil starts to, and like, that warmth isn't there anymore. It starts to burn, like kind of like you're being branded by something, and then like, but it's only for like 1 second, and then he stops, and then he he takes up his raised fist and then like puts it on, grabs his, like, this piece of wood that he uses for his plate, and then just opens his hand, and it just, and then like and then the candles start to like suck in, like that, like the lit lantern candles like suck in for a little bit, go out, and then the plate is just gone, but not before you hear this pop, like the pop of a freaking balloon, except for you look around, there's no splinters, there's no nothing. The plate is just gone. And you feel like something was stolen from you. Like a part of you was just taken out. It was like, I used you in this case, but should you need to use this power, I don't know if I can teach you how to do it as well as your mother taught me, but I can try.
Well, I suppose making plates disappear can be a useful party trick.
He just sort of tilts back and it's like, eat your fucking food.
Yes, Father.
With that, he stands up. Well, lanterns are out. I'm gonna catch a little bit of sleep before I go out. Then he just crawls into bed, and then just kind of like gives you like a little wave, and then just like covers himself with the makeshift blankets that he has, like the scratchy, like again, like something that you made while you were there.
Yeah.
And at this point, you realize that your day's done. Like you did what you needed to do in the day. Your dad, Vincent, goes out during the night and just kind of patrols, and that's his job as like an older human. He can't do too much physical labor, so he patrols and does what he can. And you have this plate of food that's just sitting there.
I eat my food.
Okay. The cook, the person that arranged it and brought it, does so like someone like they bring the and at this point you realize you forgot to take your bag to the cooks with all the meat in it and the venom sacks and everything. But at this point, like they wouldn't be they wouldn't be at their quarters anymore, so you need to wait for tomorrow to take it back. But they do their very best to make it edible. But think of something like have you ever had something that's like just way too salty? Imagine like that's the initial flavor for like half a second, and then it goes into and then it like transitions into bearable, and then it transitions into like bland, and if you don't swallow it fast enough, it transitions into bad.
Oh gosh. Very militaristic eating technique. Okay. Alright then. I take a long rest then?
Well, so you go over to your bed and you fall asleep?
Yeah.
Alright. So, you crawl in bed, and you look up at the ceiling, pondering your days, the day that you had, and you think about, all the mistakes that you made, what you can improve upon. It just really starts to hit you that you could have died today. You think about everything that was told to you. You wonder what tomorrow's going to bring. And if that happens, what about the next day? And if that happens, what about the next day? You think about these thoughts as the exhaustion from the day slowly seeps into your mind. And you close your eyes. And you let sleep take you.
About to fall asleep now, actually.
Yeah, and that's it.
A wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Cool.
And that's your prequel.
Yay.